Hi, I'd like to introduce you to my absolute very favorite tarpon fly, and probably a fly if you walked into a fly shop wouldn't buy. I was introduced to this fly by a young man named Rob Fordyce. Both this fly and Rob Fordyce, my guide, helped me win the Don Holly Tarpon Tournament this year. Rob's tarpon fly is tied with a TMC 800S. This is, in my opinion, the absolute very finest tarpon hook that's ever been put on the market. Furnace saddle, and you want really skinny furnace saddle, unlike most tarpon flies. Crystal flash, badger hair, and orange hackle is optional. We fish it both ways. Fluorescent orange flat wax nylon for the thread. Let me grab this thread and let me show you this fly. Okay, let's put a jam knot on the hook shank right above the point of the hook. Okay, and go back to the bend of the hook and about halfway back forward. Flatten that thread out. Okay, we'll select 2 furnace feathers, very long, very skinny. And instead of having them curve out, we're going to have them curve in. And you heard me right when I said only 2. This is an unorthodox tarpon fly. But also it's given me some of the best days of tarpon I've ever had in my life. And we'll just wiggle it, get it right on top of the hook shank. And come back to our original tie-in area. And put a drop of Flexament right there. Okay, we'll cut off a clump of badger hair. Now we don't want all of this under fur, but we're going to take about half of it out. And again, this is a real sparse tarpon fly. We're going to tie these very long. In fact, we're going to get as much of the badger as we can get off. We're just going to even up the tips. Hold it on the near side. Mash it with your thumb to spread it out. Do the same thing on the other side. And be sure they're even. Okay, wrap our thread forward to our original tie-in area. Put on 3 or 4 strands of crystal flash. Double it around our thread and hold it on both sides of our hook shank and come forward about half the tie-in area. Cut the crystal flash about the same length as the badger. Okay, now you can fish this 2 ways. You can finish off the head right here, epoxy it, and fish it just like it is. Or you can put 1 orange and 1 only saddle on there. For a collar. We fish it both ways. trim it off. Pull all this hackle back, and we'll over wrap it a little bit where it'll lay back. Okay, finished off with a very small tapered head. Here again, keep that thread flat. And very small head. Whip finish. Cement or epoxy that head, however you want to finish it off. Tell you another little trick. Is take some barred or some kind of waterproof cement, cement these two tips together. I'll guarantee you tarpon eat it like crazy. Okay, we're tarpon fishing here in Belize. Unlike Florida where you fish in the flats, we're fishing some creeks in the mangroves. So we're going to be fishing a little deeper. We're going to be doing some blind casting and hoping we see a tarpon roll, and then we'll cast to that individual tarpon. Right now I'm going to blind cast. I've got a Rob's tarpon fly on here. It's done awful good anywhere I've tarpon fished. Let's give it a cast and see how it does here. Give it a little time to sink. Still keep a tight line while we're letting it sink. Give it some nice slow strips. Bring it in. Do it all over again until we catch that big fish. Stu App's an absolute pioneer in tarpon fishing in the Keys. Funny thing about it, I met Stu App on a trout stream in Montana. And after that, he's always been one of my heroes. Let me show you how to tie his fly. It's a furnace and red squirrel, and another fly that I absolutely won't go tarpon fishing without.